So when you came up with the Rangers, I know that obviously I know that the team was not doing well. They had a lot of. Was there any? Were any of the veterans? Did any veteran kind of take you under his wing and kind of help you along, or like?
I can't say that they did. I can't say that they did.
Was there any animosity towards the 18-year-old?
I didn't really feel any at the time, but I'm sure there was some. But I can't say, I don't know if they were out to take it, like going out after games and partying and stuff. I don't know if they were out to take advantage of me or trying to make me feel part of it. So I don't know which. I do know at one point in time, I firmly believe my manager was out to take advantage of me. Not my first year, but my second year.
Whitey Herzog?
No, not Whitey.
Billy Martin?
Billy Martin.
Okay.
There were times, we'd go out, he'd be partying with us. So, I'd have to say, I have some questions for that man someday. I think he did everything he could to destroy my career.
Really? Mm-hmm. Intentionally, just because?
Well, Billy didn't like pitchers, Billy didn't like young players, and Billy wanted to be the center of attention. I was a pitcher, I was a young player, and I did not ask to be the center of attention, but I was.
Well, naturally, yeah.
I had 3 strikes against me. I won my first 3 starts in '74 and then sat for a month.
Really? Mm-hmm. Why did that happen?
Because Billy said I couldn't pitch in the big leagues, and he didn't want me there. Front office did want me there because I could put people in the stands, and then I won my first 3 starts, so I was making Billy look bad because I was proving he didn't know what he was talking about.
So you'd rather look good and not have winning.
Right.
Yeah.
But then we did win also. The Rangers had one of their best years ever in '74. We finished second to Oakland. So, but it was just one of those things.
Now, any question I ask that you don't want to answer in particular, you just wait me out.
No problem.
Whitey Herzog, I know he was your manager, and in his book, he kind of said he feels a little guilty about maybe not guiding you or protecting you from some of the
He didn't have a chance. Whitey didn't have a chance. He was fired in September of my first year. Whitey was fired in September of my first year. And so, the biggest mistake the Rangers ever made was firing Whitey Herzog. Whitey was the architect of the '69 Mets, and then went on to become very successful at Kansas City and St. Louis both.
Exactly.
But Bob Short always made the statement, if he ever had the chance to hire Billy Martin, he would. And that opportunity came along, and he fired Whitey and hired Billy. So Whitey never had a chance. Whitey never had a chance. Whitey's told me the original deal was I was going to get 1 or 2 starts and then they'd send me down. But that didn't happen.
Why didn't? Because
because I was a little bit successful and I was putting people in the stands. Bob Short needed money. Bob Short was hurting bad.
Do you think the same thing would happen today?
I am kind of the poster child on how not to handle young talent. One good thing that did happen out of my career is when there is another young player come along, I do hear them say, we're not going to let happen to this young man what happened to David Clyde. But with that being said, it will happen again. It'll happen again. Because what will happen is you're going to get somebody else in a financial bind that needs to make money to either stay afloat or to prove to prospective owners that baseball can succeed in this community. And so it will happen again. Because it's a business.
How do you feel about that statement? We don't want what happened to David Clyde to happen to this kid.
It makes me feel good.
Really?
Because it does make me realize they screwed up. Even to this very day, there's still not a lot of infrastructure in place at the major league level for a young player. That young a player. Coming out of college, you're a little bit more mature, a little more of an adult. But there's still not a lot of infrastructure in place for an 18 or 19-year-old to be in business.
Do you think you had anybody watch out? I don't know if your parents were involved.
My parents were involved, but I mean, they were here in Houston. My dad had a job that he had responsibilities for, and so, no, there wasn't anybody watching out.
That had to be a tough, you're 18.
I mean, the statement, had I known this at the time, the statement was made in contract negotiations prior to the 1974 season that I spent too much time with my family.
Seems like that would be a good thing.
I would think it would be a good thing.
As opposed to a million other things you could be doing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, just kind of lets you know, the train of thought that some of these people go, some of the lines that they go through and everything. So, it's just one of those things. It's a business, and they were trying to get off the hook as cheaply as they possibly could. But if I'd have known they'd made that statement at that point, I'd have probably walked away from the game right then and there. Not that I'm a mama's boy or anything, but you're not going to sit there and tell me that I'm spending too much time with my family.
I gotta say, it's refreshing to hear. It's, to have convictions and to stick with them.
I'm far from perfect, and I wasn't always, I wasn't necessarily always with my family, but to tell me that I'm spending too much time with my family because I go to have dinner with them after the ball game, ball game ends 10:30, of course you're going to be out till midnight. Why didn't you make a statement about me out too late with the guys on, running on the road? Where was that statement? Nowhere.
Exactly, right.
So
you got criticized for being home with your family, but not for the time.
Yet there was nobody there looking out for me when maybe they should have been on the road.
And the veteran ball players either joined in or didn't say anything.
Correct. So, but that, that's life.
Right, yeah.
That's life. Like I said, I don't know to this very day whether they were out to take advantage of me and make me look bad, or if they were just trying to make me feel part of the team.